Hi everybody, welcome to another Meaningful Conversations. My name's Asha Anderson and I'm a volunteer with Transition Towns Bay of Islands Whangaroa, and I'm here with Sumner and Bianca Haux, and today we're going to have a conversation about the Big House Project. Welcome ladies.
Thank you.
And of course we have little Carly here with us as well. Hey, and we are in the new community garden here at Kerry Organic. As you can see in the background, we've got some of the garden and the beautiful banana plantation behind us. So yeah, really nice to be with you today, ladies.
Yes, and nice that the weather's looking after us.
Yeah, definitely. Some little bit of rain for the garden.
Yeah.
So the Big House Project.
Yes.
For people who have never heard of it before, could you tell us exactly what it's about?
So it's a housing cooperative, and we are planning on renovating a large building, either an ex-hotel or a school, something with lots of rooms so that we can fit a lot of people in, but a lot of practice rooms and a library and quiet spaces, that kind of thing. Okay. Room for yoga stuff.
So the actual location is yet to be found? So
yes.
You're just getting the right people together at the moment?
That's right. So we've got a core group of 5 that have started the process and worked with the sorted out the founding documents. And we have 7 more in the process of joining us.
Wow.
Going through the membership process.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. So what's behind the motivation? Oh, look, we're getting a bit of a delivery at the moment. Might have to just
get a little louder.
We're getting a delivery of some baleage for the garden.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's all go here.
Busy. Yeah, so a lot of us are just either have had a long desire to live in community, or have recently realized that raising children and gardening is more than one person can manage alone.
Yeah.
So some of our members have had a lot of experience with living in communities, and some of them are quite new to it, but very sold on the idea of affordability, connection, sharing work and utilities, and quality relationships.
Yeah. Free time, shared free time, and shared enjoyment. And we've been working since December quite intensely on making it happen, with all the legal stuff, financing and outreach, membership, creating also all the legal stuff, all the agreements and things that we'll be needing. And we've had one house especially that we would think is suitable, but we don't know if we'll get it, and there's other options as well.
Yeah, it's quite a process, I'm sure, finding the right place, to make it all come together.
That's right. Yeah.
So obviously all ages are welcome.
Yes, we've got a variety already, but it's for everyone. It's whatever the background, where if you have interest in personal development, building connection, living in community, living affordably, and more connected with the land and with each other and with ourselves. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So don't you think it would be difficult for so many different people, perhaps who aren't family, to come together and live in that kind of situation?
We are expecting some conflicts, but but we have a conflict management plan, and we're welcoming conflicts as a way of learning more about each other, more about ourselves, and coming up with solutions that work for everyone, so that it is possible for everyone's feelings and needs to be met.
Yeah, that's cool. So
well, it's not that difficult to work together if everybody is open-minded, if everybody is ready and just knows that there is conflict, and that but on the other side that everybody will be heard. And then if you have those certain skills, and that's what we already do, we do already connect, we have community time, so common time, so that we really get to know each other better and better, that we know how the other one is, and so on. And also to just see that we create this community, we create it already, and then just learning also all those skills that are necessary for having a happy living together.
Yes, yes, definitely. I like what you said about you kind of welcome conflict, because it actually is that growth factor, really, isn't it? Where it helps you learn about each other and learn what processes you can employ next time, you know, to make things go more smoothly.
And what triggers are setting you off that need your personal work as well.
Yes, what kind of healing needs to be done.
Exactly.
Conflict and is actually showing where we ourselves have our trauma and our fears and our belief systems, and that's anyway something that we do. We question these belief systems, we question our past and so on, but we don't realize that we are very often just running on autopilot and just actually living all our conflicts, our past conflicts, and that is part of and that is part of it, to see the conflict and just realize, oh, I've had a trigger, where does it come from, and then just investigate into it and not blaming the other. You have made me angry. No, I was getting angry. Why?
Yes.
And then seeing that as
owning the emotions,
the emotions, seeing it as an opportunity to grow, as an opportunity to learn out of it, and have self-development and community development out of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it puts another spin on family, really, you know, because it's, in a way, you're embracing all those people, you know, into your family of sorts.
Yes.
And coming at it with an unconditional, you know, I know we'll rub each other up the wrong way sometimes, but we'll get through it and we'll figure it out.
Exactly. A friend once said to me, friends are the family you choose.
Yes.
And we don't actually have to be friends with everyone in the big house. We just have to be tolerant and
Respectful.
considerate and respectful.
Right. So how many people would you know, what do you think is the ideal number of people who would perhaps end up living?
I think it was between 12 and 20.
Right.
Well, it depends on
the building.
On the building. And in Europe, there have been so many examples that they have started like with 10, 15 people, or sometimes in just 5 or 8. And then it started to grow because more and more people get interested, see the fascinating possibilities that you have in such a community, and love the living together, and then just join. And suddenly a group that started that small has now 150 or 200, and they're very successful there, showing and proving that it works.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's so many good examples of it working.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you could send me some links and I'll put them in the description for the video that people can check out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
There is different models. There's models that there is a big house and everybody has kind of small flats, and but there is heaps of community space, and people are sharing meals and evenings and so on, conversations and chores and all. But then there is the other example that everybody has kind of 1 or 2 rooms depending on how big the family is, and then having more community space. So there's both models, and it's both working pretty well.
Yeah. So I suppose what eventuates out of this project will be a reflection of the people that get involved, and what venue is finally, you know, found. And
the property that we're looking at currently is in Whangarei in Kama.
Okay.
That used to be the Windsor. I guess it still is, but
It still has
got
the
a
sign
lot
there.
of history. It's got so much history, and it's got 17 rooms, but we expect to use a few of those for like a library, a treatment room, a massage room,
An office, common office.
Yeah, and a common office. Yeah, so that there's multiple purposes. Are you hungry?
So what do you think some of the benefits would be, you know, for this kind of living?
Well, I've been living in a boarding school, and I come from a big family where it was tradition to help each other, and so I know how it helps to be a group for big jaws, or it's the benefits are very clear. You know, if you do your own jaws and you just dislike cleaning, for example, which I really hate, but you have to do it because I love it clean and tidy also. So, but you just imagine you do it together with a friend. Hey, then it's fun, laughter, and you just, the cleaning is side side product of living community, and of course just makes fun.
Or even you trade time, like you do it something that someone else doesn't like, and they do your cleaning for you instead. So trading of something that you enjoy or that doesn't bother you.
yes, and so not just skills, there would be resources that could be shared, and just make the living environment a lot richer.
Exactly.
Because, we can't fill our homes with personal library, we can't have all of these things.
A shared library is just something that I really look forward to.
Just imagine so many books, everybody just needs to have a couple, and then they just making the rounds, and
you can't be reading all the books you own at the same time.
No, that's right.
Just
better a book read.
Yes, absolutely.
Another thing that I was that one of the benefits is, like, if you imagine how much time in a week you spend cooking. For me, we don't eat out, so every meal is like an hour of my time at least for cooking. So that's 21 hours at minimum, probably more a week.
Yes.
And if I contribute in this setting where 2 meals are shared a day, and we have a roster, and I only have to cook maybe 2 meals a week, and then breakfast on top. It frees up so many hours in a week.
Absolutely. And the financial side of things is a really big one at the moment, with the price of things going up, and just the availability of living places is just really out of a lot of people's reach.
So our financial team have worked out that the bigger the house, the cheaper it is for each individual that lives in it. We did a worst case scenario, really, with everything overestimated, and worked out that the ongoing costs, if we purchase this house that we're looking at, would be $400 a month per room. So $100 a week, which would cover the power, the rates, the maintenance. The only thing on top of that would really be food and entertainment, if you're not entertained by all the people that live there.
Wow, that really does put a different spin. I mean, people are paying exorbitant amounts of money for places that are not well fitted out. It's just,
and it doesn't go back into the community. That money goes into the bank and leaves the country.
That's right. So do you have what when you say go back into the community, how do you mean that?
Well, I guess with the purpose of the big house is to first help the community living there to develop their personal, but also to contribute to the community as well. So we'll be educating by holding classes, we'll be holding events for enjoyment and
so
connection.
The community will be servicing itself, so the practitioners there will be available to all
practitioners. And with 4 hectares that this property has, with volcanic soil, it will be we'll be able to either donate or sell, or
cool. And I suppose the greater the diversity of people, the better. If you had an accountant and you had a health practitioner, and you had someone who's wonderful at cooking, and
we've got a variety of people that are interested. It spans a lot, and with ethnicity, age, life stage, and the skills behind, it's quite a variety already.
So if someone's interested in this, what do you think their next step should be?
So on our
course coming up, I think
we do. So first of all, we've got our website, which is thebighouse.nz. And
the Big House Project.
The bighouseproject.nz.
We'll pop the link in the description.
And on there you can download our vision booklet, which is packed full of a lot of what we plan to do in our vision, and some kind of ideas of how it will look,
how it will work,
and how it will work. A lot of the resources that we plan to use, and then also we have our collaboration skills course coming up, which is it's 18 hours, and it's amazing content. We've just all done it ourselves. So it's 6 sessions, 3 hours each. So the first is personal development. The second is the art of dialogue. The third was conflict resolution, or
well,
decision making,
it's all these
conflict
skills.
resolution.
Yeah, it's all
And
these
then-
skills that we need for living
together,
happily in a
yeah.
community.
Yeah.
So it's also about how we function, how actually trauma come into existence, and how you can also heal it. So and there's a lot of modules in it that there is like communication is trained and nonviolent communication. So of course, it's not kind of that you come out and just dominate it. That will need some more practice, but it gives an overview and the basic understanding through those trainings and so on. And it's quite amazing because it really gives you another point of view into the possibilities and abilities and how we can actually communicate better and make ourselves better understood, but also understand others better, and hopefully then can step back sometimes and just think, gosh, that's not me, or that I don't need that. And
Okay. And so in terms of the finances, are you looking for people who are wanting to invest in the purchase of the building?
We still, it would be good to have more people involved in that.
Yes. Okay.
There hasn't been a price set on the property. We asked for some time to get our community kind of ready and to that stage where we could make an offer. But now they've decided that the 3 months we asked for are now up. We're still not quite ready, but we've done a lot of the work to get very close. So we're still pending on a couple of houses actually being sold so that we can get some of the price. But we have, of those 7 members that are interested, we may have enough to purchase, or we may have enough to get enough of the way that we can ask the vendor for finance, which they have offered to us.
But it looks as if we can finance it completely. So it depends, because the 5 plus the 7 would be enough
to purchase.
So, but until we're really there, we will know.
Yes.
So, and even renovate and everything, bring it up to standard and make it a really nice, wonderful living space. We'll get there, and just that's another thing, all the skills that come together, if there is variety, and then you actually learn from each other and you upskill yourself, and that actually is an amazing thing, that you can then move mountains. You can renovate then a big house, you can make it up to standards and so on, and that's
make beautiful gardens and
permaculture and all that comes with it.
Yes.
Fantastic. And so just if that house, doesn't work out, are you looking in the Whangarei area? Is that in general?
Ideally, we would really like to stay up here. The climate is nice when it's not muggy as hell.
Yes. We'd love you guys to stay up here too. That would be such an asset. I mean, we really do need these kind of things to get going. A lot of people would benefit from them. And are looking at alternative ways of living.
We've really noticed in the last 2 years even, that people are really looking for different ways of living. There's so many more people now looking at sharing land, buying sections together, camping together, making cabins together, or trying to create tiny homes. Unfortunately, some of them are falling over, like Ahiwai has recently stopped, and then another one down in Coromandel, Alchemia, has just closed up as well, because they didn't get the commitment they needed. But there's just so many starting up, and even here, I think, with Marty wanting to have a community here still.
Definitely.
So it is great, and the more people do it, the more it'll be easier to do for the next people coming through.
That's right.
Because I believe a housing cooperative is something that New Zealand hasn't really got experience with. We couldn't find any evidence of a housing cooperative in New Zealand. So it is something that we are quite far behind on, especially in relation to Europe.
The laws, the rules have to be created, but and the kind of design, the legal design is to be created and found, and which makes it a bit more difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a common movement of people wanting to live more independently, more self-sufficient, to have, and we have this possibilities here. We have them. We have everything that we could live completely self-sufficient if we wanted.
Yeah.
But it's also strength to then interconnect and share and exchange things with other groups and other and that's what you want to have more communication and upskilling throughout the whole population society.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
I really love Marshall Rosenberg, who wrote the nonviolent communication or came up with that method of communicating. He's written a song called, I think, The Joy of Giving.
Okay.
And the first few lines are, I never feel so given to than when you take from me. Because giving and having someone accept is such a beautiful
definitely.
thing
We
to
know
have that
this from our
contribution.
pop swaps together, where
it's so
people
lovely
just come to
having
share.
that sharing.
Definitely. Oh, well, is there anything else you wanted to share with people about this, wonderful project that's, looking for more people to get involved?
Well, yes, we want to really invite everybody who's interested in it to contact us and to just get to know us and see if it's really something for you that you'd like to be part of, or even just have a look. We also have friends of the Big House project, so that means everybody who wants to just support it and just can't see herself living in it, to just be part of the group that wants to share knowledge and participate in events and so on.
And we have a newsletter that comes out as well with our updates and useful, interesting reads.
So you also have your skills course coming up?
Yes.
Next weekend? Or it's this weekend?
No, next weekend, I think. The 2nd of April it begins.
Next weekend already.
2nd, 3rd and the 9th of April. So it's a Saturday, a Sunday, and then the following Saturday. Yeah. It's fascinating information, and there's a lot of little exercises that the group can do together, which are really fun and so interesting, the learning.
Yeah, cool. All right, we'll post links to that. That should be on your website, information about that.
Absolutely, and on our Facebook page.
Okay, cool. All right, we've just got a couple more questions before we wrap up. So why do you think co-housing is necessary? Why do you think it's one of the solutions?
So something that I saw recently was a study done that people that have good relationships live significantly longer. That seems like a good benefit.
Social connectedness.
Social connectedness.
It's a big part of how well and how good we feel, how happy we are. And the happier we are, the longer we live.
Yes.
Yeah. And the quality of life is different. That's what we want.
The quality of life.
And as we were saying before, the time saving, the financial saving, and the lower footprint and effect on the land, where we're really reducing our footprint by reducing our building requirements, our consumption requirements. Because of our better mental health, we won't be buying stuff to satisfy.
And all kinds of levels. I mean, bulk buying, there's so many different benefits of doing things together.
And with such a workforce, we can have an amazing garden and sustain ourselves from the land so much more, which gives us even more cost savings.
Cool. Well, what about privacy? Some people really value their privacy, although they might like to have connection at times. How does that work in something like the Big House?
Well, that's something very important to me as well. But having been living in a community, you realize that you have privacy. You have your private space, and there's lots of other spaces all around the property that need to be created so that you can have there also your private space. And actually, all the common space is not always occupied, so you also can occupy parts there, and you have your privacy. And actually, after a while, you know each other so well that you actually see if somebody wants to stay private or wants unity and wants to communicate.
You pick up on each other's cues about how you're feeling and what you're needing. Cool.
I do like the idea of having maybe a couple of cabins that are like a timeout cabin when someone just
Yeah,
wants to have
retreat
a
cabin.
retreat. Yeah, meditation cabin.
Yeah,
For
you
when
can
you
book
just
it
want
out.
to have
Yeah,
some
that's a cool idea.
uninterrupted
Yeah.
quiet time. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if it came to it and someone needed to leave, you know, what would the process be? Have you guys thought about that? If someone needed to move out, and
Yeah, absolutely. We've made it easy because so many communities have failed by making it hard to leave, and then having that resentment build, and that doesn't contribute well to the community. So we've made it easy. When a person becomes a full member, they buy shares, and then so when they leave, they sell their shares to either an associate member or to other full members, to keep it easy.
You want to do that. That it's better for everybody. If someone's
it's better for everybody.
And it needs to be we need to be respectful of everybody, and if somebody decides to go, that's also to be respected.
Absolutely.
And what the experience all the other groups have shown, the ones that make it the easiest to leave are actually some of the ones most stable and most successful. And another very interesting finding is also that the more difficult it is to join, but it's not about the difficulty. If you make it a real process to get to know each other, to upskill, to have the major skills that you need for communicating and for living together happily, the better the quality of the group, and the more stable the group is. And these groups are actually the ones that grow sustainably. And funny enough, then nobody wants to leave.
I mean, the commitment is important, and your investment and belief in what you're getting into. Absolutely.
Exactly. And one thing that we've decided as well as a group, we said that when we have our collaboration skills courses, the full members will still attend half of them, so that they build the relationship through that collaboration skills course with the new members coming in, so that we get to know people before that process becomes further along.
And the collapse course is also about having potluck, so we'll join the meals, and you just also get some impression and get to know the person a bit better.
That's it. Having a meal together in the middle.
Important to remember, we're all still learning, you know, even if you're an old hat and you've been there a while.
Everyone's still on a journey, just at different stages.
Exactly.
This one very early stages.
You finished? All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies. We'll finish there. And it'll be good to check in with you guys again and see how the projec's going.
That would be wonderful.
Yes,
absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.